So do you think this sort of high pressure moment you just mentioned was key in changing how you view leadership and how you exercise leadership?
I think that came a little bit earlier. I always thought that I had an okay way of reading people and that I had okay people skills. But quite early on in the year, you realize that, you know, having people skills in terms of your friends or people that you see during your work and everything is very different than having 80 people from all over the world trying to get them aligned for one single goal. Obviously, it helps that everyone has the same motivation. But yeah, you obviously have different values, you have different culture, different experiences, and also a lot of different ideas on how to actually build that perfect car. I think that was one of the biggest challenges. Is I think in the beginning of the year, like just making sure that you deal with the different people and their different mindsets and kind of taking everyone's opinion as helpful information and then kind of finding the middle ground in certain things to not just dispose of someone's idea but also not getting way too hyper focused into what one person's saying equals a fact. That's not the case, but like just gather multiple opinions.
Renee, you had the chance to intern at Red Bull Racing, which is a dream for so many, including even me. What was the biggest culture shock you experienced in how they approach engineering when you, for example, compare it to your time working with the DUT25?
I think my culture shock was kind of because they didn't expect much. So it was very difficult. I went into it after working on the DUT22 first, when I first joined Formula Student. And everyone had a lot of expectations within Formula Student that year, like that you do that I did the cooling system there, that I took that on and everything was going to be perfect, right? You had a lot of responsibilities. And by the time I ended there and I went to Red Bull, I knew a lot about the powertrain and the cooling system of that car. And then going to Red Bull, suddenly you were in a much larger team where your responsibilities weren't super clear yet because you were just starting out, and they also didn't really have that much expectations, which in a way was also really nice because they mentioned as well, like we know you have knowledge and skills. We just kind of assume at the moment you don't, and that it's up to us to guide you to become the engineer that we need. And did also help in terms of like a lot of pressure that does fall away, because at least for me, when I first came there, I was like, oh my god, all of these people are brilliant. What am I doing here? Um, but yeah, you quickly go into that role that yeah, indeed, with their help and their guidance, that yeah, you kind of notice that the learning curve is steep, but yeah, they really take you on the hand, and I had not expected that from Formula One team.
What is one piece of insider knowledge or a habit that you picked up at Red Bull that you still exercise in your professional life till this day?
I think what Red Bull made me realize is that the key factor to success is motivation. And it sounds so cliche, but it's kind of I kind of always had this idea before, but they really truly made me realize that the only reason I got that job, besides obviously having been part of a Formula Students or at least working with cars, was because of my motivation. And I noticed this within the whole team there. Every intern, every person that was there was so motivated, either for engineering or for racing or for just like electronics or suspension, you know, the niches. But everyone you talk to, they could talk for hours and hours and hours about their specialty. And you could just, you know, when you talk to someone, you can see their eyes kind of light up, and the way that they then talk just becomes so much more convincing. Every single person at Red Bull Racing had that. And I think that is such a key factor to how they've tackled on their successes and how they become, like, from that point onward, like, or and before that obviously as well, like such a great racing team.
You are now the co-founder of Aspira X. You're moving from building cars to building careers for female drivers. What was the gap you saw in the industry that made you realize that something like Aspira X had to exist?
The gap I hadn't realized myself. I actually was brought on to by my other co-founders that I met, and they were talking with two other drivers, with currently are the Aspire X drivers, and they noticed, indeed, they explained to me that the step that you have from karting, which is usually obviously where the racers begin, to higher classes is so difficult. It's you have to fund a lot of the money yourself. You have to find partners. You have to keep those partners happy. You have to do all the travel logistics yourself. Look at data, find testing time. Even if you get into F1 Academy, a lot of the girl drivers also want to still do Formula 4, Formula 3, or other racing classes to just make sure to get that track time in. And again, that costs money. And that kind of resonated with me because obviously I'd seen with Formula Student how everything in the world currently is a lot of money and how it is really expensive and hard to make those connections and to get people to help you build a project, or in this case, your career. And that's kind of how I realized that this is a market, or this is something that I would love to help these people with. And I think with the team that we currently have, with our drivers and with the other co-founders, I think we have a really good group of people that can help those careers.
Renee, everything you have said has been truly inspiring and interesting. What projects are you unlocking for yourself right now?
So currently I'm just trying to finish up my bachelor and hopefully doing that with an internship very soon. I'm going to obviously try and stick around in the world of racing for my internship and then see if I can put that into a career hopefully later on. And then Aspira X, I'm doing that obviously on the side. I really, really like doing that and helping the careers of these female drivers. So Tuesday actually we're flying out to Shanghai for the very first race. So I'm really excited to be with those girls in the paddock and help them around and talk to partners and just network and socialize. And then after my bachelor, I'm gonna see. I'm either trying to go back into F1, or I might consider going into the route of a smaller racing team and then working my way up the ladder, because I think I've really fallen in love with management. So I'd love to explore options in that direction.
Lastly, Renee, for students like me who are 16, working on IB projects, and dreaming of pursuing a career in engineering or motorsport, what is the first stepping stone we should focus on building?
I think that differs. I think obviously you need to have some sort of education. I think that is a little bit more technical, or at least an education that you really like and that you can then apply later on to engineering and racing. And motivation. Again, I'm coming back to that. It's so cliche, but I feel like the expression like there's multiple ways to Rome, that is so true. And I feel like if you're truly passionate and truly motivated, you're gonna find a way that fits you. So for me, it was joining a Formula student team. But there's also people that are joining the other dream teams, for example, here in Delft. Like we have the solar team, we have a hydrogen team. Like any sort of experience that you can get, work in a garage. You know, if you want to go into more of the operational side, try and indeed like do some interviews, get to connect with people, network, try and go to karting tracks, go to random racing events and talk to people. I think there's so many different ways, and every person that is now known in the world of motorsport, even if you look at the team principals, for example, everyone has a different story as how they got there. Someone is very more of an entrepreneur, the other one was an ex-mechanic, the other one is an ex-strategist. Like everyone has their own different approach and different way. And I think the only people that are going to make it are the people that 120% are going to give everything and want to do it above anything else. And then even if they fail, they're going to get up and try again. And so I think, you know, if you in yourself know that this is the one thing I want and I'm going to give and do everything for it, then you're going to find a way. But I think, start with, what you want, and then talk to people who followed a similar route, look up to people that have done a similar route, and see what kind of then opens up for you.
Thank you so much, Renee, for your time, for your words, for sharing your passion with us. Thank you for showing us girls, that we can do an incredible job in these stereotypically male-dominated fields, and for being an inspiration to millions of girls worldwide. And I wish you the best of luck in your future projects. Everyone, please make sure to follow Aspira X and Renee's work in the future. And thank you so much, Renee, for being here with us. And thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this conversation as much as I did, and if you unlocked new knowledge, which I'm sure I did, please do not forget to follow me on this account, to subscribe to my channel, to hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and follow me on all of my social media accounts at Oriana Unlock on Instagram and on TikTok, so that you never miss out on a new opportunity to unlock new knowledge. Thank you so much, Renee, for being here, and thank you all so much for watching. As I always say, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep unlocking your full potential. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!